just some cheese, some jalapenos, some onions.
Did you put sauce on after?
No, I didn't put any sauce on. No sauce whatsoever.
Where's this glaze?
I think that's just the smoke aspect.
Yeah, that's definitely a science.
Oh yeah,
because like if I learned how to do that, flats would be way easier. Because here you gotta suck it right off the bone on these ones, and I don't know, which way you bat or which way you swing. Welcome. This is live from Langley BC, the #1 podcast in Langley. Well, about everything Langley, that is, where we talk about news, events, and businesses in Langley. Today's guest is somebody who's taken over the home hardware and barbecue niche in Langley. So I'm happy to have him on. Shaq, thanks so much for joining us here today. No you've been a local resident of this area for 20 plus years, as you've mentioned. And, we're going to talk about your business and everything like that. But before we get into that, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
My name's Shaq, 𝐏𝐡𝐨𝐿. I'm not the most interesting person in the world. I like hanging out with my friends, big into sports. Started working at the Langley BBQ Shop probably about 5-6 years ago. Before that, I was working at a company called 1-800-got-junk. Hopefully you've heard of it.
Getting into business, you went to school at SFU. Was that in regards to business? Or was
it was communications major, and then I had a business minor.
Mm-hmm.
But from a lot of what I realized is when I went and got that job out of university there, I learned a lot of what I know on the job. Just like asking questions, just being thrown right into the thick of things. I was doing a lot of email marketing and stuff of that nature, and you just learn so many different things on the job just asking questions. So I feel like I learned more in the couple years I worked there than I ever kind of did in school. That's not saying for people not to go to school or anything like that, but I just learned so much on the job. It was super helpful, and I took a lot of that to the business I am in now, which is really, really nice.
So are you using a lot of those strategies now, or what kind of strategies?
So just for email marketing, we would use different kind of tests and stuff of that nature, and like just subject lines, that kind of stuff. So I don't do really too much email marketing, but if we're doing ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, that kind of stuff, I test different things, see what works, see what doesn't kind of work, that kind of things, and just kind of strategic stuff in like where to place your ads, who with, the demographics, all of that kind of stuff. It really, really has helped just open up my mind and see where I can improve and where we're kind of lacking.
Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't know you guys did ads or that you were partaking in the ads.
Yeah.
So like that's a huge part of this. So I'm going to definitely ask you more about that.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about, so let's talk about the business first, because then we can segue into like what the areas that you see, the best returns, so to speak, in that demographic. So then you got into this business, running operations. What got you into this? Were you saying family was
so this is my dad's store. So my dad's had this store since 99.
Wow.
So he used to work in a store in West Van, and then he had an opportunity to come open this store.
Mm-hmm.
So he came and opened the store in 99, grinded for a while, 7 days a week for like about 5-6 years. So he grinded for a while, and then things got better, business picked up, all of that kind of stuff. And then he got into the business with his sister later on, came in and helped, and then she decided to leave about 5-6 years ago. And basically, he was kind of older. I wanted to kind of help him out. So I said, okay, you know what? I'll come try and help you out, see where this can go. Not that I didn't like my job or whatever. I was just trying to kind of help my dad out. And things at the beginning were a little bit slow. Business was okay. But honestly, what was a huge boost for us was COVID. We were one of the few businesses that actually kind of benefit from COVID because a lot of people were home. They were needing to do home improvements, had a bit more money spent because they weren't going on vacations or spending it going out or anything like that. So people were coming to our store to just do that kind of stuff, and just we became noticed because a lot of the time we're small stores, so we kind of blend right into the street. So a lot of people just became aware of us as a store. So that really helped in that sense that people knew that they could come to us. We give pretty good service. You're not having to search high and low like some of the big box stores. That if you come to us, we'll be able to help you. And if we can't help you, we'll be able to at least point you in the direction of where you can get that help.
It's funny you mentioned that. Like I hear that all the time about COVID, changing things up in people's business. But it's funny because remembering COVID, going to Home Depot because everybody was going to Home Depot.
Exactly.
There was lineups there.
That's why people were coming to us, because the lineups are so long. People were coming to us. We actually, at some days, actually had a small lineup outside our store because we had to limit the amount of people that were coming in. And then also at the same time, we actually usually are a 9 to 5:30, 9 to 6 business. We cut our hours to 11 to 4 just because we had too many people coming in and we weren't able to stock the shelves.
Oh,
right?
wow.
So we had our guys still come in from 9 to 5:30, 6 o'clock, but we wouldn't open till 11 because they had to stock the shelves. And then after we closed, we stock shelves as well, just because we're such a small store.
Yeah.
And we tried to look at hiring some help, but unfortunately, there's just not a lot of people that were really looking for jobs. Or even though people were laid off, it's just like, I think from a safety precaution wise too, people were a little bit weary for that.
I mean, if you're getting paid to stay home,
yeah, right.
That's like, why would you
thing,
go?
Right? People
anywhere?
were getting paid the same amount to stay home as they were to work. So I guess I can understand it from that point, but I don't think too many people were looking too hard.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. So I think I didn't even know there's your storefront until I think I just saw it in that video for Discover Langley, which we're going to have them. We're working on having them on too to talk about all those businesses, which is
they
cool.
do a great job in terms of just promoting local businesses. They do everything they can to just help a lot of the smaller stores in downtown Langley, just promoting them, making people aware of them, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like how they focus strictly on that. And then when I saw that video with your storefront, I'm like, I drove past that store all the time. And you know why I remember it, actually? Remember the sign store next door?
Yeah, there's still that sign store.
They're still there, but remember the sign they had with the moving person?
Oh, yeah. I picked that sign up a couple times when it was windy. They just knock it over, but I remember that sign, yeah.
So, like, I don't know if anybody watching this remembers, but that is why I remember that area for, like, the most is I didn't really pay attention to the stores there, but that sign store with the moving, you know, where it's like, oh, this could be your business or something like that. And then I remember always driving by, I'm like, oh, there's a home hardware store there. I'm like, wonder, you know, like, I've never been there. I haven't needed to go there, but it's good to know there was one there. And now I'm like, oh, wow, just like, that's Shaq's.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly our biggest challenge in terms of moving forward is, even though like during COVID we got a lot more awareness, it's just like making people aware that we're there, and that's the hardest part because we're home hardware. But we kind of on that street, and we kind of just blend right into the street. That's our biggest challenge right now. I think, is just still making people aware that we're even there.
But you're trying something new, right? And then so you're doing the barbecue thing now.
Yeah.
And so before it was home hardware, now you've added the barbecue.
So when I first got there, it was still known as Langley Home Hardware and Barbecue, but we sold a decent amount of barbecues, but I'd probably say since I got there, our barbecue sales have probably gone up 30-40%.
Wow.
But just because I pushed them, I saw like an opportunity there. Langley's a big market for detached homes, condos, apartments. It's growing constantly, like, you know, right? So people like to barbecue. People like to spend time outside with friends, everything like that. So I just saw an opportunity there to grow that aspect of the business. And so far, the barbecue aspect's been doing really, really well. It's a bit of a challenge sometimes because for us, like I said, we blend into the street. We don't really have a parking lot, that kind of stuff. So that's a little bit of the challenge there. But we've really tried to expand into barbecues and just make people aware that if you need anything barbecue related, we can do whatever we can to try and help you out.
Okay. So what are you doing in terms of are you doing like events?
So for us, like, I would love to do events, but so we have our brand reps of each brand. We have Weber, Trigger, Royal King. We have our reps come in once, twice a year to do events or like cooks and stuff of that nature. But like I said, the biggest challenge is because we don't have a parking lot or anything. You can't really do anything inside when it comes to barbecuing. And then for outside, we just have a little bit of sidewalk space. So we'll have our guys come in and do a little bit of cook, but it's just hard to get that kind of going because, like I said, we don't have a ton of space. So I think that's probably one of our biggest challenges. Like, if we had a parking lot, I'd say throughout the summer, I'd try to host 5-6 different events of barbecuing, some games, some contests, that kind of stuff. But we just don't really have the room, and I think that's the biggest challenge. But it still helps. Just people taste the food, they have a fun environment, they taste how good it can, it works on that kind of stuff. So it still helps, definitely.
That's what it's about, right? Because like you go to those barbecue, like you're talking a huge barbecue fan.
Oh,
here.
there we go.
So like we went to the barbecue, the Rib Fest or whatever, Rib Fest in Langley. That was like literally went and had almost like a plate from every single stand, right? So you have them all lined up. Okay, this is from this one. So Rib Fest in Langley was unreal.
Yeah.
And then there's also there's different barbecue spots. There's one just off the highway, I think 232 or what is that exit? But it's a Texas smokehouse.
I've heard of it. I haven't gotten to that. I haven't had a chance to go to that place, but I've seen them on like Instagram and Facebook a little bit, and their food looks unbelievable.
It's so good.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. I just haven't had a chance to go out. Just been pretty busy, but like their food looks unbelievable.
Yeah, and they start in the summer usually. So like, they like if you go there on a Thursday evening because they're only open certain times on Thursday. Check them out. It's less busy. So that's when I went, and it's so good. So, but trying that food, you're like, man, I want a barbecue. Right? I want a smoker.
I know, right? So that's the biggest thing. Like our Traeger smokers have been probably the biggest seller in the last little while, just because people taste how good the food tastes. And then they get compliments on their food. So everyone loves compliments on their food, right? So they have been probably our biggest seller in the last little while, and you really can't go wrong in it. It's probably my favorite thing to cook on.
It's like, from what I have never cooked on it, from what I've heard, is just cooking in a smoker is a little bit less effort involved, just because you put it in there. It's hard to burn, right? Obviously, don't over smoke it, but it's more of a time thing than like you got to worry about the heat and burning it, overcooking it, and it cooks it, I guess, from within a little bit, right?
Yeah, so that's the nice thing about the Traeger. I think it's more the prep than anything, right? It's just like getting everything together. I think, honestly, just for the prep for this, it just probably took like 45 minutes to an hour just getting everything prepped. But once you put it in there, you just kind of set it and forget it. And what's nice about most of the Traegers is all Wi-Fi controlled. So like today, so I put the food in, and then I had to go do the banking for a business, and I could check everything through my phone. So just make sure our temperatures weren't running too hot, anything like that. If you're doing a piece of meat, there's a meat probe too that you could just check that if your meat's running, cooking a little too fast or it's close to done, anything like that. So they've made it as kind of easy as possible.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah, right? So when you're doing, like, say, a 12-hour brisket or a 16-hour cook or whatever, not everyone has a luxury to just sit around in the backyard, have a couple drinks. Sometimes you do, but you don't always have that luxury.
That's a lot of
right?
drinks.
Exactly, right? So you can just put it on, check it through your phone every once in a while, and you don't have to stress about it, which is really nice.
That's amazing. Yeah. Now you got me thinking for sure. So I mean, like, stuff like that, like, people don't know about that. So you probably, like, those events that you throw probably help with, education.
Exactly.
The ads that you're running, like, are they geared towards more like, hey, we have a barbecue sale, or is it like things like what you literally just said?
Yeah. So for like our ads, it's just very. Honestly, they're pretty basic. They're Facebook and Instagram ads. Like, our demographic is usually, I would say, probably about 40 and older. I think if people just have a little bit more disposable income at that stage, like a lot of people our age, some people are doing really well, but I think it's a struggle. Like, things are so expensive. You're just trying to get ahead. You don't always have that disposable income for like a $1,500 to $2,000 barbecue, right? You're just trying to get that starter home. And I don't think that's high on the priority list. But our ads are just basically making people aware again that we are here to help you with every barbecue need. And honestly, we don't really put out any ads for sales. And the reason why we don't is because the brands of all the barbecues we sell, they set the pricing. It's almost like Apple. So they set the pricing across the board. And why that kind of helps us, because we're a smaller store. So big box stores like Home Depot, Canadian Tire, they can't undercut the pricing. Because for them, it really doesn't matter. They could undercut the pricing, and they could sell 1,000 units, only make $50 a unit, but their volume is insane. But so it's really, really nice for us that the pricing is set across the board, and we can tell people you're not going to find it cheaper at Home Depot or Canadian Tire. It's going to be the same price across the board. So you might as well come to us. We know our stuff. Support local. We know our stuff. If you have any questions, we're going to know it. And then if you have any warranty issues, you need your parts, anything like that, we know all of that kind of stuff. So I think that's still making, trying to get that out there, making people aware that our prices are not more expensive just because we're a local store. It's the same across the board.
Interesting. That's really good to know. Actually.
Yeah, right? A lot of people don't know that.
It's something actually just like hearing what, the type of content you're putting out there and the ads and stuff, like my marketing brain is just like going crazy. And also we talked about this last time. It's probably ADHD, but I'm just thinking about the type of videos that you could put out there, because at the end of the day, like what you're putting out there maybe is in regards to just like your store or the barbecues or what you have for inventory. But if you were to make videos with your phone, being like those cooking videos about like, here, this is how you prep prepping this food for like, say, this Langley event. It probably doesn't even have to be a Langley event, but be like for having like lunch at this park in Langley. So you kind of tie in that it's in Langley. You also show the kind of food you're making for that picnic family event. And then you take that video, and if you Facebook marketing, you run a video views ad, and then from that it'll capture all of the like impressions. And then now you can run a retargeting ad to those viewers because they're in Langley, they're interested in barbecue. They watched the majority, if not the entire video, and now you can also set the tone with the demographic of like, okay, well, we know someone who's 18 is not going to buy this, so little bit of a disclosure there. I've sold people's houses where their kid's 16-year-old kid saw the house and then they called their parents. So not a bad idea to even hit them with it. But let's say you still want to focus on like the older demographic. You hit them up with that retargeting, and now you have actually a catered list of people who are interested and in Langley and in that demographic. So it kind of reduces the amount of money you're spending.
Nice.
So yeah.
Maybe we can, after the show, you can give me a couple tips and guidelines about how to do that. Because like for me, it's just me on my end. So I'm doing the social media. I built our website. I'm doing all of that, but I'm also in the store physically putting stuff away, bringing barbecues back, all of that kind of stuff. So for me, it's time. Like it's just time. Like trust me. Like I see how influential TikTok is. I see how influential Instagram is, especially when it comes to food content, barbecue stuff, all of that kind of stuff. It's just like you eat with your eyes, right? So trust me, I've got a whole different ideas, but in terms of the way to retarget people and stuff of that nature, it's always good to get some other insight about that. But the content I really do want to create, I have a content calendar that I want to map out and create. It's just finding the time to do so, and then also the budget too, right? Of finding the right people to be able to film.
Yeah, and I love helping, give advice where I can, because like my background is before real estate is marketing, and that's why I've had success in real estate, is because I've been able to use those tools to help market homes and help build my brand, which is why I even started this podcast, because I saw such a huge gap in Langley, the place where I do my business, in reference to the exposure that these businesses and events get.
Yeah, right.
Because they don't know. Like, okay, let's put it up on like the Township of Langley website.
That no one's like really gonna look at. Who's gonna look up? Yeah, right.
Yeah, it used to work for sure. I could see that.
Exactly, of course, right. But there's just so many different outlets now that no one's really just going to the person's main website to just go do that. They're getting it through all different social media channels.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, so it'd be cool to see, because a lot of people don't know that like the videos don't have to even be high quality. Like here we're in a studio, right? This is not how I shoot. I shoot a lot of my every other piece of content that I shoot is not, aside from listings, is not a professional. It's my phone.
Yeah, right. That's
so I have
true,
the latest phone. Maybe I have a 12 Pro, not even like the newest one, but it's still like
still
good
does
enough
the job,
quality.
Right?
Yeah,
I think that's my biggest problem. Sometimes I think like I'm in my head. I'm like, I need to get good quality content out, or like it needs to look perfect. But sometimes it's just like getting it out there. Like just film the video, put it out there, and just keep doing it. And like, so what if you don't get the likes or the views? Just keep doing it, and eventually it'll come. Right?
It's like, we're gonna talk about this, but I want to just put it on record too. Just, I think I've mentioned it before. You'll get more views from stuff that isn't overproduced, because what happens is when people see a high quality video, ad instantly. Why are you paying for a professional photographer unless it's somebody who's a photographer and it's just shooting a landscape, which those videos get a lot of views.
Course, right? Because,
but if you're like highlighting something, they're like, you're trying to sell me this. So whatever, I'm scrolling past that.
Exactly, right?
So a lot of people think like that too, and I used to think like that too until I noticed how TikTok was pushing the raw videos out a lot more than like. Well, it started with the dancing thing, and I was like, I'm never doing that. But then I saw a friend of mine start posting, selfie videos, which I've been doing on my stories for like 5-6 years. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to post the exact same video, and those started to do well. So same thing, right? Just throw it on reverse and do like a zoom up of. Same thing you do when you go out for food at a restaurant. You're like, oh, let me get a cool video.
Of course, right?
That's all you need.
That's all you need sometimes, right? I think I was just a little bit of a late adopter to the TikTok phase, because like I said, my girlfriend was on it, but I would never fully love, like I said, the dance videos and stuff of that nature. So I'm like, but we recently just got a TikTok and
Nice.
probably just a couple days ago.
I'll be tagged with this. So like what I've noticed is, so I started a new TikTok for this this channel, and in a month now of posting almost every day, I've gotten to 1,000 followers, right?
Wow.
So it's like, and some of these videos have like 20, 30,000 views.
Oh, that's huge.
And it's like, I wanted to show people that have been trying to post for years now, like, oh, I'll never blow up. Yeah. Some of my videos get like 200 views. Yeah. It happens. But then there's like the 3 or 4 or 5 that get 30, and then I get 100 followers from those videos.
Exactly, right?
So that's all you're looking for. It's all about,
but
quantity.
You have to be quantity, but you have to be consistent in that too, right? Because if you're just putting out one every week or every 2 weeks, like, you're just not going to get that. Yeah. But you just keep putting it out, and it'll eventually happen for you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, you got that right. So let's get into this food. So before we do though, tell us what you've brought today.
Okay, so I brought. Am I talking to them?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So I brought. First time I made this. I made some queso. So it's just a blend of a whole bunch of different cheeses, some jalapenos, some ground beef, a little bit of onions, just all melted in there. Sat on the Traeger for probably about 3.5 hours, just blending into each other. Some seasoning, all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully it tastes pretty good. I tried it a little bit before. Tasted pretty good to me, but I love your guys' opinion. And then the other batch here is I made some chicken wings. We smoked them for probably about 2.5 hours this morning.
Wow.
And then just finished them off at a high heat to crisp up the skin and stuff like that. We used some of our meat church seasoning that's been pretty popular in the barbecue world lately. But hopefully you guys enjoy.
Oh, well, you're gonna hopefully have some too here. I'm not gonna eat the whole thing. So you're talking like this is. You're speaking my language here. You got queso, you got wings, and nachos.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong. I thought it was not a bad way to go here this morning or afternoon, I guess. Yeah, probably not much of a breakfast.
The reason we do this at lunch is because we like to have lunch.
There we go. I didn't have any breakfast this morning, so
there you go.
We'll dig in.
So we're gonna cut to me trying this. Okay, let's have a bite here. Yeah. So these chips obviously are the go-to nacho chips. We were talking about that. This beats Tostito. This beats all of them. It's got like the crispy edges. I don't know if you can see that.
There we go.
Right, so you know it was cooked properly.
There we go.
So what's in the case? It's just a bunch of vegetables and cheese.
It's just some cheese, some jalapenos, some onions. Hopefully, it's not too bad.
That is terrible. It's so good.
Oh,
so
I know,
good.
Right? Yeah,
that is
like,
so.
A Sunday football kind of snack.
Oh, okay.
People coming over. That kind of stuff.
So you're telling me this is what you make for Sunday football?
I'm gonna have to start making it moving forward. This is the first time I actually made it. Was today just for this show? So hopefully it turned out okay.
That is amazing. Yeah, this is like so. What does this remind me of? Like, you know how everyone has like one of the big dips that people make, and they all have their specialty is spinach dip. Mm. So this is like the queso version because I never had somebody make their own queso dip, but it's not just. Because if you go to the restaurant, they just drop some cheese whiz and melt it, right? So this has got some texture.
Some cream cheese. Got probably 2 or 3 different types of cheese.
Okay, you got to break it down. So cream cheese. What else?
It's got some cream cheese. It's got some cheddar, some mozzarella, some marble. We put some salsa in there, onions, tomatoes, jalapenos, some seasoning. That's pretty much it for the most part.
And you smoked it.
And we just smoked it at low heat for about 200 degrees for about 2.5 hours. And then it just kind of every half an hour I'd go in there, just like stir it up a bit, melt a little bit more. And then at the very end, we just cranked it at a high heat just to get that final melting aspect to it. And we're here now.
So you could say this is probably like the most, what was that? Not the most time spent ever on a queso dip because I don't
possibly.
know I don't know of it. Like even if you go to like a restaurant like a Mexican restaurant, we'll spend a little bit more time on queso because they probably serve it.
Yeah,
this like destroys that. So I guess if it doesn't work out at the barbecue shop, like you could make these and
see what we can do there,
you could.
Right?
I think you could sell these on the side. And
no, it's pretty good actually. I won't lie.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm happy it turned out pretty well for a first time around. So I'm hoping this summer to do a few events and hopefully I can serve this up and people can try it and get a couple triggers sold, and they can try it on their own.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm looking forward to, because if you put this in front of people and like, you know, they could make something obviously without the smoker, but
Yeah,
the
of
smoker,
course.
you can definitely taste the smokiness in
Yeah,
that. Like
I
it's not
appreciate
just oh, it's just queso. There's definitely a little bit of a smoky hint to that. And that's what makes it like it gives it a little bit of a spice.
Yeah, we're trying to get a little bit of a spice in there, a little bit of smoky undertone, nothing too overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the beauty of it. Is just like, and like I said, like once I put all the ingredients together, I put some ground beef in there too that I cooked up last night. You just put it all in the container. You just throw it in the Traeger. Like I said, the prep work was the most of the stuff. Put it in the Traeger, let it sit there for a couple hours. Just go out and stir every once in a while, and you're pretty much set. So. Like I said, it's more prep work than anything, and then it comes out in a beautiful dish like this.
Yeah, thanks for your recipe. Now, people won't have to buy the trigger, but then when they don't and they make it, they'll be like, "Wow, this is trash." So they'll probably have to come to your store after and grab that.
We'll have to do a little bit of a food video on here, breaking down how we make it.
Oh yeah, that'd be like there you go. That's #1 video there. And then so
these are just some smoked wings. They might be a little bit cool now. But basically, we seasoned these guys up, let it sit for about 45 minutes, half an hour, and then we threw it on the trigger for about an hour on each side, so that it just kind of smoked through, and then we cranked it up to about 450 for the last 20 minutes to kind of crisp it up, and then sometimes it's just a dry rub. Generally. We try and get some sauce going and stuff of that nature, but we didn't want it to get too messy out here. So hopefully it still tastes good and you like them.
So right off the bat, I'm gonna like wings. I can review wings because I've had tons of wings. Right, so wings here. If you compare this to a wings wing, right, which is usually what I don't like about homemade wings is that they end up a little bit too mushy sometimes or burnt.
Yes,
right. So
exactly.
this is like. Perfect. This is the perfect balance of the two because you can still see. Did you put sauce on after? Or?
No, I didn't put any sauce on. No sauce whatsoever.
Where's this glaze?
I think that's just the smoke aspect of the finishing aspect. But we didn't put any oil, no sauce, no nothing. It's just basically threw on a dry rub, threw it on there, smoked it for like I said a couple hours, and then finished it at high heat, and then. It just generally, naturally, from the fat within the wings, gives it that bit of a glaze look.
Okay, because I was expecting some sort of sauce flavor.
No.
It looked like a barbecue teriyaki. So that's
this
amazing.
is pretty. Yeah, this is not going to be anything overpowering, anything like that.
So like a salt and pepper type, but with more flavor, more kick.
We used a seasoning with a little bit. It's supposed to have a little bit of a heat in there, but like I said, generally we try and get some people like sauce on their wings, so we would try and do something like that, but. For the purposes of this event, I didn't want to get too messy here. I thought the queso was more than enough. So hopefully this dry rub turned out pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's have this taste here.
There we go.
It's sweet.
Yeah. Right.
That's so good. And there's a little bit of a kick in there.
Yeah.
This is that rub that you're talking about that sells like crazy.
Yeah. So like it's called a meat church rub.
Wow.
And,
so
bring
good.
it in from the States, and they partner with Traeger and. Just super simple. Just literally tossed it on, took my gloves, mixed everything up, and that was basically it. Not anything else needed to be done.
That's amazing. Well, I'm definitely gonna come grab some of those, some of that rub because like this is when you make wings at like the family barbecue, right? You get I don't know. Like when I go camping, we bring just like raw wings. We don't put much on them, so it kind of has that same, nothing overpowering like you were saying, but it has that kick. Like I'm definitely gonna. It's just enough, right?
Yeah,
it's not too much.
Overpowering, eh?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Wow. Okay. Like you wouldn't even need to dip this either because it's not super dry. Usually,
that's the thing,
you have
right?
one or the other, right?
Yeah, sometimes when you're cooking wings on your general barbecue, like. Just because it's so much direct heat, you dry them out, which is nice with these guys. You never have to really worry about drying it out. Like I cooked it for like 2.5 hours and they're still not dry, right? Which is really, really nice. Yeah. And so one big thing people will realize is when you bite into a wing like this, people see pink.
Looks raw.
It looks raw, but that's just the smoke. That's the smoke cooking through it. It's definitely not raw. The first time I had this, I was stressed. I'm like, I'm gonna eat this. because I have to eat this because I made it, but it's been on there for 2.5 hours.
It
I'm
has
pretty
to
sure
be
it's been cooked,
Yeah.
but I looked into it. It's just that's the way smoking's done. Like your chicken will look at times a little pink, but it's just more of a hue than anything. It's not gonna.
But
it's
that's the
definitely
best
cooked.
texture too, though, because
Yeah.
if it wasn't like bad for you, like you want that kind of tender inside.
Exactly,
And
right?
you still like you, I don't know if you can see that. It is kind of pink, and
Yeah.
obviously it's been cooked for 2 hours. So that's what I wanted to bring up. That's only something you can get with a smoker, as well as it helps to have that Wi-Fi
Exactly,
connectivity
right?
that you were talking about.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it has a little bit of that pink hue, but yeah, we tell people don't stress because that's just how chicken gets cooked on these things.
That was so good. But I'm gonna finish all that.
Oh please.
Which one do you prefer? Either like drums or
I like the wings.
The wing.
The winglets. These
Oh,
guys
what are they called?
these guys.
There used to be a video.
Flats.
Flats.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I like the
a
flats.
commercial about it. Do you remember that commercial where it's
feel
talking about like the flats, and it's like a certain type of flat.
Yeah.
It has like the arch or
Yeah.
the
I don't know who put it out
Oh
there.
my
but I
god!
remember
I
what
gotta
you're talking
find
about.
that. I'm gonna find that for this, and I'm gonna put it. So I'm gonna cut it into this right now. So
Yeah.
Taking a look at a flatty, excellent nib, very happy with the nub, exceptional meat apex. Nice 𝐏𝐚𝐚𝐢𝐥. Was not expecting that.
yeah, my go-to is the drums. I like the drums.
you like the drums,
Yeah,
eh?
I don't know. Just maybe because there's more meat. Like with the flats, you usually get like you got the two bones. But
Yeah.
I've seen like YouTube videos TikTok videos about people tearing into those flats.
Yeah.
Like
the way
you
they take the
twist
bones
it.
out, yeah, right? And someone like they peel it off so nicely.
Yeah, that's definitely a science.
Oh, yeah.
Because
You're
like if
definitely-
I learn how to do that,
I'm just-
flats would be way easier. Because here you gotta suck it right off the
know,
bone on
right?
these ones, and I don't know, which way you bat or which way you swing, but it's very suggestive the way you eat. Depends on you. I've seen different people eat wings different
Oh
ways.
yeah, you can
and
see. Yeah, I've seen people like some of the wings look. They've taken every ounce of meat off the bones, and sometimes there's like a full wing left. So everyone eats their food a little bit differently there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we could be eating this the whole time,
I know, right?
honestly. But it's kind of perfect timing because now we can kind of talk about where like people can find you. You said you got TikTok. I saw you on Instagram. Tell them about your location, your website.
So we're located downtown Langley, 20427 Douglas Crescent. We're kind of like Daniel mentioned earlier. We're kind of kitty cornered from like where the old Army and Navy used to be, or where the old police station was downtown. We're kind of on the same side of City Hall. We're right on the corner of Douglas Crescent there. Like I mentioned before, we've been there for a while. We've got a social media of our Langley Home Order and Barbecue Shop. We just got a TikTok. We really haven't posted any. We just created it a couple days ago, so got to put a couple videos up there. And then our website too. We're Langley Home Order and Barbecue. Actually, it's just Langley BBQ Shop is our website. So if you type in Langley Barbecue, we should be one of the first results that hopefully pop up. People generally tell us we are, so that's a good sign at least. And then so we've got our TikTok page that we'll be uploading some content soon, Instagram, and then Facebook, we're Langley Home Hardware and Barbecue as well. A lot of our feedback is on Facebook because older demographic, everything like that. So our ads tend to do pretty good on there. A lot of times when I'm asking people who are coming to buy our barbecues, how do you find out about us or anything like that, they're generally saying our Facebook ads is where they heard about us or saw us or anything like that. So that's always a good feeling knowing that those ads are working for that demographic. But other than that,
What about events? Do you have anything coming up or anything people should?
so event wise, I'm just talking with my reps right now. We're trying to nail down some dates. I think as of now, I'll have to have a look. We have a Weber event coming up in the beginning of May. I'm just gonna have a look here. I think we're looking at May 13th. We'll have our Weber rep come down. He'll bring his barbecue. We'll use one of ours. And he'll just cook some foods. He'll probably cook up some chicken wings, maybe some sliders, that kind of stuff. It'll just be right in front of our store. So if you're ever in the neighborhood, just swing on by. We'll throw up some reminders on social media.
So what day was that again?
May 13th. It's a Saturday too. So
Is that the May long weekend? Or
no,
close to?
May long weekend's the weekend after. Yeah.
Rodeo.
Yes, a rodeo. So we'll throw up some reminders. couple weeks beforehand to just let people know. But if you're in the area, just swing on by. If you just want even some free food, just swing on by and enjoy yourself, because
you had me at food, so
you really can't go wrong.
No, that's amazing. So, I mean, you got a variety of things that you're going to be cooking there. I'm going to try to time it so this episode at least starts getting posted around that time.
Nice.
And then that way we can probably use it too to promote it on like ads and stuff.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing I'm finding is this, like, content's great. It's going to be on my channel, but I'm going to send you everything that we've shot, and then you can post it on your page. You can post it on your ads, and then it's like quality content.
No, that's
that
huge.
you
I
can
appreciate
post.
that.
Yeah, no, I will. I'm interested to see how it works, because it's been working for me. So I'd be interested to see how it works. Talking about food for other people. So
how long have you been doing this for, the podcast?
So I started it this year. We started shooting this year. I started posting in February, so probably about a month in. We've shot, like, this is the 11th episode now.
Yeah.
We have another like 3-4 booked. And yeah, I'm just, it's a lot of work that I probably didn't expect. Like, I to a degree, I expected it. I'm glad it's going so smoothly, but I already know summer comes around, I'm already going to be, off on vacation and, doing some other things. But as long as I make time for this, it's not, I'm killing two birds with one stone. We're eating.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
Yeah, we're chatting. It's not like I'm going out for, this definitely beats like a Cactus Club 3-hour drinks and appies meeting. Like, you actually get some work done, but you chat and you eat. So it works out great. So I mean, I've been liking it a lot so far, getting tons of good feedback.
That's great, man. So it's just like local businesses or people around the neighborhood, like
trying to stick towards like Langley. So Langley residents, businesses, events. Like I said, Discover Langley is going to be coming on here, and we're going to be talking about what they're planning. They have events planned for the summer as well.
They've got lots of events planned.
Yeah, so like things like that. Hopefully, like, we can, I don't even know, like, if you have any connections or if you know anybody, would be happy to have them on, talk about their businesses or events. But it'd be cool to have, like, I don't know, people like Langley Cruisin', what are they called? Planners, like the Langley Cruisin' planners that are going to be they do their thing in Aldergrove now. Yeah, because like that would be actually a sweet event for you to just get out there for.
Get our name out there, that kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah, just set up shop, get people walking by. That's like the most foot traffic Langley sees.
Yeah, I just need the eyes, right? And that's the biggest thing. It's just word of mouth too. It's just like people find out about your business, tell other people. That's just like, it's the best marketing you can get out there.
Totally, yeah. It's the one that definitely pays off the most. The best ROI.
Of course, it's not
zero
even close.
cost.
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything, right?
Sweet.
And people are just hyping you up, basically.
Yeah, I know, right? Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks again so much for coming on here, Shaq.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, follow him on social media. Stay tuned for that event. It's coming soon. And if you haven't already, subscribe and leave a comment down below if there's anything you want to ask Shaq, or if you want anybody else on that you can think of. If that's a Langley resident, Langley business owner. I've already turned down some people because they're from Cloverdale, but they don't work in but they don't work in Langley. They work in Cloverdale, and I know our guy Vic.
Yes,
he's no longer either of those. Now he's all the way in South Surrey.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's watching this right now.
Exactly right. He's moved out there. He's living pretty good life out there. So he's been killing it.
So, but unfortunately, Vic, sorry, you're not a Langley resident anymore. So. But thanks again for hopping on, and see you guys on the next one.
I appreciate it.
Sweet.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
No worries. Yeah.